Oscar Piastri leads the Formula One World Championship. He is a three-time Grand Prix winner this season. And Max Verstappen ain't a happy man. Welcome back to Fog Racing. So, let's get into it. Race begins. I mean, it wasn't the worst race. I think Japan has set the standards that low for a race this season. It really, truly doesn't matter, about the rest. Honestly, like, there'll be no race this season as bad as Japan. It really is that simple. But like I say, we get into it. We get into this Grand Prix. Turn 1, Piastri gets the better start. I like Max, but he always does this, right? Vegas, he forced Leclerc off, right? Now, what people will say, well, Piastri forced Max off, but Piastri stayed on track, right? And as soon as Max knew Piastri was beating him in the turn 1, who sees the wide-ass line that Max takes? And Piastri's right, Max would not have made that corner even if Piastri wasn't there. He would have still went off. And I think the correct call from the FIA here is, right, once the safety car comes in, you've got 1 lap to give back the position. And then after that, on lap 2, it'll be a 5-second penalty. If you don't, lap 3, 10 seconds. You've got to be strict, right? Because honestly, and I think that would have benefited Red Bull, because I just don't think that this was a penalty. I think it was a penalty, but I don't think them taking the penalty rather than letting them through was the correct decision. Now, on the flip side of it, Red Bull didn't really have a lot of time to switch the positions. Safety car came out due to a Yuki Tsunoda and Pierre Gasly crash, which wasn't exactly, I mean, it's half of one, 6 a dozen the other, isn't it? It's 2 cars in the corner don't go. I'm surprised it doesn't happen more in Saudi on the opening laps, to be honest. Both out shite, especially for somebody that needed Pierre Gasly to finish. Not even in the points, just to beat Doohan, man. And I've been battered. I've been running around ever something out. So, that happens. A few cars at the back pit for hard tyres just to go to the end. It was far too long to go to the end. I mean, honestly, you could argue that this race... I honestly think you could make the case that this Grand Prix was a 2-stop. I think you could. But it seemed to be that the hard was so much better than the medium. It wouldn't really have worked unless you were doing like a really short stint in the medium, which worked, we noticed, towards the end. But yeah, Max leads Piastri. He was building the gap. But it was weird. It's like... I think when Piastri pitted, the gap was like 3.3 or something. Then Piastri had like a slow stop. What Red Bull should have done? Honestly, I think Red Bull should have pitted earlier. Honestly, Red Bull should have been the team to pull the trigger and pit. And I think they would have beat out Piastri. But they didn't. Piastri pits. Bit of trouble with Hamilton. Norris had a decent battle with Hamilton, but again, I think it just showed his lack of racecraft, not being able to get past. Russell, he pitted the earliest. He dropped off completely towards the end. Verstappen, Leclerc, well, no, not Verstappen. Leclerc and Norris got past him. Norris and Leclerc went long. And I think the order it finished in is probably the correct. I mean, it ended Piastri, Verstappen. Well, what else do you call him? Leclerc. I thought it was a good drive for Leclerc, because the Ferrari didn't belong up there, man. I mean, honestly, see, apart from Lewis Hamilton's sprint victory in China, what is he amounted to this season? Not an awful lot. Russell, Antonelli, Hamilton. I don't know, Mercedes are a weird team. Honestly. There's times they look almost on a par with McLaren during qualifying. Russell's like, if I hooked it up, I would have got pole. But then in the race, it's like Russell's pace is nowhere near Leclerc's and Verstappen's, who are way closer to the McLarens. 8th was Sainz, 9th was Albon, 10th was Isaac Hadjar. It was good. It was good. What do you call it? It was good battling between them, wasn't it? I think good teamwork. Alonso was 11th, and then I think it was the 2 Haas's. I mean, Lawson might have beat the 2 Haas's due to his time penalty. I don't know, but yeah, I mean, it wasn't the greatest race of all time, but honestly, I just think Oscar Piastri is going to be winning this World Championship, folks. I mean, Norris shown good pace, but it looks like he's the one that's making all these mistakes. And honestly, we don't know how long this Red Bull is going to be like slower, or even Ferrari, man. Because if Ferrari gets it right quickly, Leclerc will be up there. And you have no mistake of that. And what you got to bear in mind is Leclerc actually gained points on Norris, who was the championship leader. So it's not a massive, he's not lost out massively there. But yeah, we'll get up where's the standings? Let me see here. Formula One. Currently walking the dog. So, right, standings. Here we go. So, Piastri's on 99. I mean, 10 points at this stage of the season. I mean, it's nothing, right? Verstappen 2 behind Norris, which is a joke when you honestly think of it. So, Verstappen 12 points behind Piastri. Russell is 26 points behind Piastri. Yeah, I feel like that race is very damaging to Russell's whole consistency thing, because it looked like he should have finished third, but he completely fell away for Piastri and Verstappen. Leclerc is on 47 points, 52 behind Piastri. Can't afford to let that go much more. I mean, I think it's game over for Ferrari, honestly. I'd focus on 2026, but I don't know when Ferrari are planning the next major upgrade. I know there's talk around Barca, that's when McLaren's going to get a bit worse. If Ferrari deliver an upgrade for Barca and it doesn't make them, up there, they've just got to put all the resources, I think, into next year's car, if not already. Antonelli on 38, Hamilton on 31, Albon on 20, Ocon 14, Stroll 10, Gasly 6, Hulkenberg 6, Beerman 6, Hadjar 5, Sainz 5, Shinoda 5, Alonso still in 17th. But I mean, honestly, I think there's a real possibility that Alonso gets beat by Lance Stroll this season. But I do think over the course, Alonso will, put in a masterclass, a wet race or a chaotic race or something, who knows.